feel like you guys are back after last week's performance?
Oh, look, we felt it was a step forward in the direction that we want to head. You know, there were some things in our game that we needed to sort out. And defensively, I thought the second half last week was certainly the way that we want to play. And, you know, there's other elements of our game that are slowly coming back. So, yeah, look, it was a step forward, but we know there's still plenty of improvement left in us.
Can you take us into what some of those other elements are?
Oh, look, I think, you know, our contest started to come back. You know, we started to move the ball a bit more efficiently, which aided a few of our other areas. So, look, it's, you know, it's, as I said, it was a step forward, but there's still so much work to do. You know, we had a good performance in Sydney, but, you know, it's just a start for us.
Jetta and Lewis had a pretty good hit out this morning. Do you think they'll be back this week?
Yeah, they did. Look, you know, both will be available to play, as well as Jay Lockhart, who was a late withdrawal last week as well. So all those three guys got through, trained strongly, so they'll all be available to play.
Braden Pruce as well. Fitness, it looked like he was sort of training away from the main group. Solid hit out. Will he play?
Yeah, he had a solid hit out away from the main group, but he'll train on Friday and be ready to go. So, you know, he was a good inclusion for us last week. You know, he performed really strongly. So he's someone that's got to get through training, but we're pretty confident he will.
And Jake Lever seems to be doing a lot more training with the main group. How far away is he? Do you have a timeline on that?
Yeah, look, it's great to see. We haven't got a timeline, but he's doing a lot of training with the main group now. So, you know, he's probably still got at least a minimum of 4 or 5 weeks before we ever consider playing him in any form of footy. So he's still got a bit of training to do, but it's just so great to have him back out there. You know, he's certainly one of the more influential, you know, players around the footy club, and it's great to have him back on the training track.
Just see the Twin Towers. It seemed to work really well. I mean, is it still a horses for courses thing with the 2 ruckmen, or can they play every week?
Oh, look, you know, it's 1 week in, so it worked well for us on the weekend. We'll keep having a look at it. You know, we'll go with it this week if Prusy gets through. So, you know, they seem to have a really good chemistry with each other. They're working well together, and they understand each other's games and how they're going to work together. So, you know, it was a good step in Sydney, but, you know, it's 1 week into you know, something new that we've looked at.
Do you feel it helped William and McDonald as well, having Bruce down there?
Yeah, look, that was something we were keen to have a look at, you know, freeing up, you know, Tommy and Weed a bit more to work around the ground and obviously keep some heat on around the footy and the ruck. So, you know, we felt like it aided those guys. I thought, you know, both Tom and Sam both looked like they were starting to get their games back in some good shape. So, you know, without question, I think it aided those two in terms of their progression forward, yeah.
I feel like it's an advantage you could have against the Saints, considering they've got just the one recognised ruck and Akers kind of relieves Marshall.
I think the Saints are in good form. You know, put that on the table. I think they're playing some really good footy. They're well organised. They look fit. They look like they're really working well around the ball. So, you know, we've been really impressed with how they're going about it. You know, how they go about our rucks, I'm not too sure, but you know, we'll be ready to go.
Does the short break between your next game influence how you use Geordie this week, in terms of selection?
Oh no, it won't influence us one bit. You know, this is a really important game for us. There'll be some guys that in the VFL that, you know, we've got a trial game that, you know, will clearly either won't play or be on monitored time. So, but it won't influence the selection of this week. You know, this is a really important game for us against a really good footy club in St Kilda who are in really good form. So we'll be picking our best side available.
How difficult has it been for him? Obviously frustrating. You know, he hasn't played since the prelim. I mean, it seems like he's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, look, he was had a really solid pre-season and he was ready to go, and obviously a late withdrawal into round 1. So, you know, he's done a really strong rehab, got some good load back in. So, you know, he's an important leader to have around the footy club. You know, I thought we saw in the first 3 weeks that, you know, we missed his leadership. You know, it's great to have him back at training and available to play for us again.
So some of those issues that you did have in the back half is, you know, his old wise head. Is he someone who can really help in that instance?
Oh, look, he understands the game well. He's got that voice and direction and communication from behind the ball. And, you know, I thought our back 6 started to get back playing the way they know they can last week with some inexperience back there. But, you know, it's going to be great to have Geordie available.
Just in terms of him having missed a few weeks, would you expect him to have to come back through the VFL, or would you be comfortable seeing him at AFL level straight away?
Yeah, look, we'll discuss that tonight. You know, we've got match committee tonight, so I don't think it's for me to go out on a limb and say he's definitely going to play. You know, we've got to weigh up everything, you know, from our team and how we performed and the guys who are in the team. So, you know, we'll have a look at that tonight.
Saints' pressure's been really good. They've been tough to score against. Are you expecting it to be a pretty sort of dour sort of game?
Well, you know, as I said, their pressure and tackle and their work around the contest has been outstanding. So I think it's going to be a really intense game of footy. I think it's going to be great for both team supporters to see 2 teams going at it around the footy. with that tackle pressure. So, we know what we're in for. They're in really good form in that phase of the game, and they're well organised behind the ball. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
It was pretty high scoring last time. Are you expecting a different sort of style of game this time around?
Well, I'd hope not with the amount of defence that we've been working on. So, clearly that last year was, one of the games that we highlighted where we were defensively really poor, and it was at a time when we actually got our season back on track. So, we've made some improvements last week in our defence, and we want to see another step forward in that phase of our game.
And just on College Jasny, how's he tracking?
Yeah, look, he had a concussion, so he's had a history of concussion. So we're just monitoring him closely. He's a day by day. He's slowly getting better, but we just got to keep monitoring him. We're hoping to get him back pretty soon.
I guess more broadly as well, how are you seeing, I guess, a month in the rules and their effect on the game? There's been a bit of discussion that it hasn't quite had the effect that they were after.
Oh, look, it's hard to judge the rules in 4 weeks. Clearly, there's a lot more uncontested marks. Clearly, this side's trying to defend a bit more with the ball in hand. So I think there's a little adjustment phase to what we're going through. Is it going to be the norm for 20-odd more weeks? I doubt it. I think the game will continue to evolve, and we'll see some free-flowing footy at some stage.
Are you still figuring it out?
Sorry, Jess. Do you like the fact you got back to being the aggressor last week? Whether it was Bruce, whether it was Viney, whether it was Jones. Did you like that on the front foot sort of style?
I certainly thought that we came out hunting the opposition, and it put us in a great mindset. So look, the boys are pretty clear on when we play our best footy, what it looks like. But I thought as the game went on, the more important thing were the phases of our game were starting to come back and the quality of how we work, and that's the most important thing for us.
Beauty. Thank you.